Despite the ongoing case with the SEC, Ripple is making history, and in this video I'm going to tell you what just hit the XRP ledger for the very first time. This is another one of those big use cases that a lot of people are wondering, how much more use case can blockchains do? Well, this exemplifies it. I'm going to tell you what's going on in the country of Colombia and why it's making big news. Also, Bitcoin is currently rallying as I'm making this video. It is about 24,500, and CoinShares, which is a large name in the crypto space, recently put out a series of messages talking about the price of Bitcoin, its anticipated moves, even with a bad macroeconomic backdrop. I'm going to tell you what CoinShares is now saying about Bitcoin, its current relief rally, and what it's going to do to decouple from the rest of these markets. Also, a really interesting story. If you remember, a long time ago, there was a man who lost 8,000 Bitcoins, and he's been wanting to search through a landfill in order to find those Bitcoins. I'm going to tell you what the latest plan is that he has to get those 8,000 Bitcoins back. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, we're covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Late Night Grind community. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon. That way YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. Also, if you do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Smash the thumbs up button, watch this video all the way to the end. And of course, check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description below. All those things really do help out a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Robotic Dogs. That is what James Howell is going to be using to search for his missing 8,000 Bitcoin. Yes, Robotic Dogs. Now, this is a story that's been going on for almost 10 years now. There was a man over in Wales who lost a hard drive, accidentally threw it away, had about 8,000 Bitcoin on it, which I think at the time he lost it wasn't a huge deal. Well, now 8,000 Bitcoin is worth significantly more, about $161 million, and last year at its peak it was worth close to $500 million. But nonetheless, James has been putting together a plan to go and search that landfill. Now, the city has not been wanting him to actually go ahead and do this, citing all kinds of ecological and health and safety issues and things like that. But nonetheless, he's actually been going through and searching portions of the landfill. However, he's been coming up with plans on how to do this better, faster, and it includes giving away anywhere from up to 25% of the Bitcoins if they in fact find it. But he most recently came up with a plan that's going to cost about $11 million in order to attempt to find these Bitcoin. He's partnering with Boston Dynamics, which Boston Dynamics is basically a robot maker. If you've ever seen these crazy robotic dogs on YouTube or on social media, it's these basically robots that act and move like dogs. And the reason they're going to be doing this is because they can actually search a much larger area, do it much faster, and store all the data, do it much quicker, much more safely. It's going to be able to store all the data about all the areas searched and what it found in order to attempt to find this hard drive with 8,000 Bitcoins on it. Now, this is a story that's been going on, like I said, for almost 10 years now. But it's really crazy to see this because this is kind of juxtaposes the people that say, well, this is what happens when you keep all your Bitcoin on a hard drive, versus the people who say, well, you at least keep some of it on an exchange. Granted, yeah, we're having insolvency issues and exchanges might actually just take your Bitcoin, but you're never going to lose it in a landfill. Comment in the comment section down below which side you would be on. All right, now let's talk about Bitcoin's rally, because in the face of all this bad, horrible economic issues, Bitcoin is rallying, but at least right now, so are all the other markets. What the Fed is doing by increasing rates and by trying to do that to attempt to stave off inflation, it looks like the growth is essentially going to stagnate. A lot of people are going to have a lot less discretionary income to put into things like investments and even risk on assets, especially like Bitcoin. So why does CoinShares now think that in the face of all this economic hardship, why is Bitcoin going to go on a bigger relief rally and essentially defy all these odds? And what CoinShares now say is going to decouple from the rest of these markets. So CoinShares went on a series of posts talking about the different things that it's looking like is shaping up for Bitcoin's price to continue to move throughout this relief rally. Now, I mentioned a couple of my videos that I watched a few traders, and some of them said there's very little resistance between 24,000 and about 28 to 30,000 for the Bitcoin price. Very little resistance. It could cut right up through that just like butter if it gets the volume. And CoinShares, I believe, is also in that camp. However, they have an even longer term picture that says even into 2023, the global economic situation is not going to be getting much better. In fact, they anticipate the US and the rest of the world to be in recession into 2023. So he said the one thing to keep an eye on, and this is what we've actually been keeping an eye on, is the US dollar, the DXY, is right now inversely correlated to Bitcoin, meaning when the dollar strength goes down, Bitcoin climbs in price. And when the opposite happens to the dollar, well, the reverse happens to Bitcoin and Bitcoin's price falls. So that is definitely something to watch, along with its decoupling from the tech stock sector. Because as of right now, the tech stock sector has continued to be getting hurt pretty much on a weekly basis. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has actually climbed almost 30% in the past 3.5 to 4 weeks since it hit its low of 17,500. Now, according to some of the rest of CoinShares analysis, they gave some things to look out for. And according to them, if there is going to be recession into 2023, they said look for Bitcoin to be in a range trading situation, albeit a volatile one. Meaning we probably already saw the bottom of Bitcoin's price, or at least it's not really going to go much lower. We might bounce along the bottom here. Bitcoin might range of trading between 20 and possibly 30,000 into 2023, with probably some big spikes up and some major crashes along the way, hence the volatility of some of these risk-on assets. So regardless of what some of the other analysts on TV say, this bad economic news, well, it just continues to push the price of Bitcoin up. Okay, so now let's talk about Ripple making history, because something just hit the XRP ledger for the first time in history, and that is something that's going on in Colombia. Now, Ripple actually made an announcement about this a couple of months ago. They partnered with a Spanish technology group called Persist. What they've been doing in the country of Colombia is working on a project to put land registry on the XRP ledger. Well, it's officially debuted. And for the first time, there was a land registry accessible on the XRP ledger. Now, Colombia says they're going to be doing this because right now, verifying land registries and land transactions take enormously long. It's an enormous, cumbersome process for them to do it. And by putting them on the blockchain, what they're going to be doing is using the XRP ledger, and with the use of the XRP stamp, they will be able to verify a piece of land registry using a QR code. Now, this is going to speed up a lot of things, not just from the administrative side, but from a transaction perspective. Once they actually get what they call adjudications, which they're expecting over 100,000 of them very shortly to hit the XRP ledger, they expect things like land transactions and land verifications to become a much more fluid and much faster process. Now, in my opinion, this is another great use of blockchain, that a use case like this wasn't really thought of probably 10 years ago, when it was basically just Bitcoin and when XRP was just getting off the ground. Now, Colombia did this with the help of Ripple and of course the technology company Persist. But in my opinion, you're going to see Ripple, specifically the companies that get these Ripple grants, creating use of the blockchain that we've never even heard of before. And I think using something like this, like a land registry, that's going to simplify land transaction to verification, and it will most likely end up with a lot less things like lawsuits, especially in local economies. Once these are all on the blockchain and verifiable very quickly and transacted very quickly, well, it's just like anything else in the cryptocurrency world. You're not going to have to wait for the legacy system to do its thing. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.